In a service-based business, your technicians are the product that you are selling. My name is Matt Phillips. I'm the owner of Matt's Exterior Washing. I've built a $1 million exterior cleaning and holiday lighting company in Cumming, Georgia, with 4 trucks, 10 plus employees, and a growing business at 22 years old. And I've realized past $1 million, building the team and keeping quality at scale becomes the real game. Right now, we are shorthanded. We had a technician team of 7 people, which one of those were part-time. And in the last 2 weeks, we have churned 3 people of those 7, and another one leaves for college in a couple of weeks. And he's also our best guy. So in a matter of a week, our capacity has been cut in half. And I know every business owner has at least dealt with this one time, or they're going through this right now. We used to execute on a system that would keep us out of this slump or this problem. We've gone through this exact process before. We know exactly how to get us out of this slump. Now we're going to do it again and teach y'all how to do it at the same time. So let me back up a little bit and let's start with a story, I guess, for us, but I think something that a lot of people are going to be able to relate to. And so a couple years ago, when we first started to hire employees or to hire help for our business, we would tend to hire either the first or the second person that walked through the door and had a pulse, right? If anybody showed up, we thought that they were the one. And so what would happen is we would invest all of our time and our effort into training this specific person for the next 2 to 3 weeks, let's say. If 2 to 3 weeks go by, and then that employee quits, we would realize, oh my gosh, we just booked all this work for a 2-man crew. Now we only have 1 guy again. How are we going to get this work done? 1. Number 2, we are right back to square one again. We made no progress, right? We did not move the needle at all. And we just spent multiple weeks in what we thought was growing the business or trying to get out of the truck. And the real lesson that I learned, and kind of the lesson of this video, is going to be the mistake is that I stopped hiring after I hired the first person. You have to keep hiring. You have to always be top grading your team. You have to always be cutting the weakest link and keeping a very high culture and standard inside of your business. One of the most expensive mistakes that you can make in your business is desperation hiring. So this is when you understand that you have way too much work on the schedule, or you're going to be missing out on money by not having somebody to help you do the work, and you accept that you are going to hire one of the first people that walk in the door. So you skip the vetting process, you are okay with yellow flags that might pop up, and I promise you it will cost you in the long run. It is very rare for me to notice a potential con or red flag in an employee and they end up working out, right? As soon as you notice one thing, or that, you kind of have that weird gut feeling, you should more than likely go the opposite direction. And so again, on the constantly hiring thing, the right move is to be, while your team is already full, to constantly be hiring, constantly be vetting, doing calls, so that you can build a wait list. I just got a text from Dominic that says, can you give me a call when you get a chance? There's a nail in one of the tires and it's leaking. That's a lot of fun, right?
Hi.
Hey, what's up? I saw your text.
Dude, I thought I heard something when I got out of the truck. Like parked on his gravel. There's a nail in one of the tires. It's leaking pretty fast. I don't know if you can hear that on speakerphone.
Yeah, I can hear it spewing.
Yeah, there's a screw in it or something. Yeah, I'd call State Farm.
All right, let me give him a ring.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Hey.
Hey, I just wanted to make sure you were aware when you saw the work order. When I got here, Ken said that he called in yesterday, I believe, and he wanted to make some changes to the work order. Because he said that...
Bro, the job's only $700 now?
Yeah, he said there were some things that he said it didn't need. I'm just trying to think for the guy coming for the trial day.
I mean,
At like 10, I'm going to be pretty ahead of things.
yeah, but to be fair, it's 8:30. I still don't foresee being done with the job in an hour and a half.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna kind of slow roll it then.
But
What was it at before? Like it was
$1,500.
We used to have this system in place called the strike system. Basically how it worked was when somebody didn't follow a standard or missed something that was in a defined process, like something that was documented, like a checklist or before pictures, after pictures, they didn't clean their truck out at the end of the day, they would get a strike. And we had that on a rolling 3-month window where after 3 months, the oldest strikes would be taken off of there, new strikes would start to accumulate, and there were different tiers for different amounts of them. And at those different tiers, your commission would drop by a certain amount. As you can imagine, when there's 4 crews doing between 1 and 3 jobs a day, the math on that and figuring out when the tier started and when it stopped, nearly impossible. So it became toothless really fast. We weren't sticking to it. We were just saying things to them about like, hey, you got to strike for this, but they weren't noticing it on their paycheck. So nothing changed. So 1 write-up, you're just talking to them about the issue. 2 write-ups in a month, and they're on a PIP, which is a performance improvement program. That means for 2 weeks from that point, they're trying to fix whatever issue they were causing before, but they're moving to $18 an hour. So instead of getting their normal commission, they're getting the hourly wage. It's not a crazy difference. For a regular technician, it's not, I would say it's probably like $40 difference per day. But for a lead tech or a master tech, it's like $80 to $100 difference. So it's a big deal. We just wanted to put that in place because if somebody's consistently having issues, that should be a wake-up call. If you get another write-up on top of that, you get 3, then we're having a one-on-one meeting where we're deciding, should you still be working here? It's easy things. It's like showing up on time, wearing your uniform. How does it look when one guy shows up in uniform and the other guy shows up wearing something completely different? This looks hypocritical right now, but this is Andres. He's doing a trial day today, so he doesn't work here yet. We're seeing how things go with him, seeing if he enjoys the job and seeing if we want to move forward. We just want to exude professionalism. We want to show up on time. We want to communicate well. And if we don't have clear standards for that stuff and we don't have consequences if those aren't met, it's just not going to happen.
So when you don't top grade the team, the standard continues to decline as you are putting up with or accepting your low performers. And that rubs off on the rest of the team as, oh, hey, that's okay if I do that. And the standard continues to decline. One thing I always like to tell people is when the washing team consisted of myself or myself Hayden or maybe myself Hayden Grant, we would maybe have 2 or 3 callbacks a year. And when one happened, it was like the biggest deal in the world. Like, how could we have possibly gotten a callback on that? Fast forward 4 or 5 years, that is probably the biggest focus in the business is customer experience, keeping callback rate down, making customers happy, right? And it's kind of the point that I was making about how building the team at scale becomes the real game. It's one of those things where different business owners are going to have their strong suits in different areas. I know for me, my strong suit is kind of in the sales and marketing departments, if you will. And I struggle a little bit more on the production side with kind of like the technical skills, like the fixing the equipment and things like that. So it's something that I'm constantly working on. So I mentioned the callback rate, but when that standard lowers, it affects everything else too. You start having your employees showing up late. You start having employees not wearing their uniform. You start having employees not communicating with the clients, leaving their truck a mess after they get back to the shop for the day. This is all a byproduct of the lowest performer, right? If your lowest performer is a stud, this is never gonna happen. Let's say you have 1 or 2 really good guys, 1 or 2 so-so guys, and then 1 guy that's kind of down here. And when you put up with this guy down here as a business owner and just allow him to get away with the actions or with the low performers, these people up here start to get frustrated because they say, hey, I'm getting here on time every day. My truck is clean. I am texting the clients, you know? Why is he getting away with this? And so one of two things happen. Either one, these guys quit. That's what's gonna happen first. If that doesn't happen, these guys start to perform closer to this guy because they say, oh, I could put in 25% less effort and still get away with things. Let me try that. Top grading, getting rid of the weakest link in the chain is going to keep that standard from lowering. So there's something new in business every day. This was the first time for this in 5 years. So we finished a job yesterday for a gentleman named Nasir. It was a $3,200 job. When he went on, I guess he saw like the tip option and saw like the custom amount or something, and I don't even know what happened. I scroll down and he tipped $3,200 more dollars. Obviously that's a mistake. And before I could even text him, he was immediately like, oh my gosh, I messed up, whatever. His card had a $6,400 charge on the card because he tipped the same amount as the job. Now I have to go and drop him off a check probably because we don't have Zelle. And I'm gonna have to have the conversation about taking out the credit card fees because we're gonna pay the fees on that. So just a bunch of fun, but something new happens every day. The fix is to treat hiring like a continuous process. You don't only do it when you are in need. Think of hiring like a marketing function of your business. When you are doing meta ads or whatever, you are marketing your services to new customers. When you are hiring, you're posting on job pages, you are marketing your services to your future employees, okay? And so how I think about it is our clients and our customers, they are our external customers. Our employees and technicians are our internal customers. I think it's really common, and I've made this mistake as well, to only focus on marketing to our external customers or our clients. And the issue is that if Mrs. Jones uses us to wash her house next week, and let's say she pays us $1,000, okay, great. That's gonna be 0.1% of our business this year, right? Like, that's awesome. If we've got this rock star technician who can go out and complete $300,000 in revenue for us this year, which person's more valuable, right? I'm not saying that we don't need clients, but let's think about that for a second. Back to the issue, it was that we stopped hiring, and you have to keep hiring and keep building this wait list even when you are slow. And so one more thing on the marketing would be, if you've got 3 or 4 jobs on the schedule this week, are you gonna turn off all your marketing? Are you gonna turn off your Google ads? Are you gonna stop putting out yard signs? No, you're gonna keep doing it. And the same goes for the hiring function. You have to keep doing it. And so if you have great people who you are interviewing and you're vetting, and let's say that you have a couple rock stars where you're like, hey, I would love to have this person on my team. You've got 2 options here. Number 1, you can either cut your lowest performer and continue to top grade your team, or you can say, hey, we were very impressed with you and we would like to have you on our team, but right now we don't have a spot available for you, but you are gonna be at the top of our wait list, and as soon as a spot opens up, which they always are, we are going to be in contact with you. A story that I wanna share, and I heard this on a podcast, I've listened to this guy give multiple talks at expos and whatnot, is Brandon Vaughn. So we showed in an earlier video that we use HireBus. It's like a hiring software to help with hiring. And not to go down that path, but he's basically the founder of the HireBus software. And it stemmed from, I think he got the idea from this exact situation in business. And so he explained a story where he owned a power washing company named All Clean, soft washing and window cleaning, something like that. They sold to private equity. They were probably doing over $5 million a year prior to the transaction. He explained that there was a spring or something like that where they needed to hire 35 technicians in a week. And when I hear that, I'm like, that would literally be impossible, right? Like, unless I'm just hiring, a bunch of people who are gonna do an awful job. But he explained how they had somebody in their company constantly hiring, and they had built up a wait list of people that they would hire on a dime of over 100 people. So when that time came that they needed all those technicians, they simply sent a mass text and an email to every one of those texts and said, hey, that spot is now open, right? We would love to have you. And of course, some of them said, hey, I already got a job, thanks so much. A lot of them really liked his company and what they saw and were excited for the opportunity. And they said, hey, that sounds amazing. Give me a week or two and I'll be ready to go. So they were able to gather those technicians and complete all of that scheduled revenue that they have. And so since then, Brandon Vaughn has done a deep dive into the whole hiring thing, and he's built a couple softwares for it and things of that nature. But that was a story that I heard, and that just makes so much sense to me, is to not turn off your hiring, as it is such a big part of your business.
So we're doing concrete here. We're also spraying the right and the front of the house gutters on the outside. We're not doing a normal gutter cleaning of the inside. We're doing a soft wash of the outside just to get them looking cleaner. Because you see on this one, it's got like mold streaks. It's got little pieces of debris that came over. He just wants that cleaned up so it looks a little better. In the front and the right side, just because you see that from the road and you see this when you pull up in the driveway. It's usually helpful to kind of start off with the surface and move in, because you never quite know how it's going to spray.
Gotcha.
Perfect. I think you've gotten that quicker than anybody else.
Really?
I know it seems like a simple thing, but like they get kind of worn out, and people will mess with this for like a week and be asking for help and like whacking it with a wrench and stuff. So
Hey, that's awesome.
that was quick.
So how far are we going?
I would probably say about halfway. If you want to kind of stop at the middle point where the tree is, kind of that line right there.
Okay.
You can do these 4 squares and then the next 4 in another pass.
And I guess for small concrete, just kind of go sideways is better? Or just keep
You
doing
can.
the
I think
long
it's usually faster to go vertically.
Okay.
Because on this, if you like, this is 24 inches across. If you do this twice, you got like 6 inches left. So if you do like 1 pass this way, 1 pass back on the far side, then you'll just have a skinny strip in the middle that you can hit, and it'll go much faster.
Gotcha.
And then when you are going horizontal, you can walk really fast like this.
Okay.
A little more to your left. Perfect. On that first pass, when you came back around, it was just slightly off of overlapping.
Okay.
When you go horizontal, if you're pretty thorough with going horizontal, it'll erase that stripe. So that's kind of why we do it. If there's anything that we missed, this will catch it, but it'll also erase those like
lines.
vertical lines.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, that's perfect. So this looks good. I think we just move on to the rest of this. If you spray at it like this, it can only go back at you. If you were like this, it's gonna go that direction. So I'm gonna be like real careful and slow around this just to get the edges, but I'll start away from it and then I'm gonna move in. But just for the purpose of demonstrating, I'm gonna spray right at it and I'll show you what it looks like.
Gotcha.
Like it's on my face. So. Wait, I wanna see if I can see it in the reflection. Oh yeah, I see it. This might be a dumb thought, but when I go to like racetrack or something to get a drink, I'm like, I feel like hard walking in there looking nasty.
Yeah.
We always leave a yard sign at all the jobs we do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the neighbors will see it and go, oh, who did that? And it's like really easy to tell. But also like stuff like that, if they got frustrated because we left a mess there, they know exactly who's responsible. So like, we always want to just clean up after ourselves. But
Okay.
yeah, this looks good. I would say we should rinse the curb down, but since there's more of the driveway left and it's all gonna come down, we're just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over.
Makes sense.
So I think we just move on up to the top so that we don't have to fight gravity anymore. We can just get it all in one go.
Okay.
Like the edge of the curb where we get to the property line, we should just like stop short of the edge right here. We can use the wand on it. I think this is flat enough just to go over like normal. If you feel the bar touch it all, just try to lift up a little bit. Fortunately, electrolyte is the new addiction. Instead of Red Bull and Mountain Dew, it's electrolyte and Arnold Palmer, like the Arizonas. This is kind of a loop that I see that happens with business owners. You're shorthanded, right? Somebody quits.
You panic hire because you have a lot of work on the schedule and need to get the work done. So you take the first warm body, the first person that looks decent with a pulse. You train them for multiple weeks, it's your only focus, and it's all your time. They quit. You have no backup ready, you weren't hiring for the past couple weeks, you're back to square one. You just wasted the past 3 weeks, and they continue in this loop, and they wonder why my business is not growing. We've got some pros and cons here on kind of desperation hiring versus always hiring. Desperation hiring, only hire when you're stuck, you have no standards, bunch of yellow flags that you accept. If someone quits, you're back to zero. You know, the standards constantly get lower. Always hiring, you're doing that all year round. You're keeping the bar in your company very high for what you expect. If somebody quits, you can send a text message to your wait list, and you know, the business just runs much more healthy and profitably, right? One thing that I do want to say is I think my stress levels depend on how the production side of the business is going, honestly. I think I kind of mentioned that sales and marketing is more of my stronger suit, and that is less likely to be an issue in the business. And I think that when my stress levels are down is when callbacks are good, the Google reviews are coming in, the guys are, are getting tips, and we are delivering that, A+ product that we want to deliver. And when my stress is up and I'm like, is this business even worth it? Is when, we've got a couple of low performers on our team just making it really, really hard to succeed. Then the last graphic here was the standard graphic. And so this is saying, hey, if this blue line is your standard, right? These are your technicians. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 technicians. And this red is your lowest performer. So what happens here, this is the example that I was mentioning, where if these people up here who are your A players, if they are seeing that lowest performer, right, and nothing is happening to this lowest performer, this standard line is going to come down, right? So technicians start getting here at 7:05 instead of 7. Technicians start to wear what they want to wear. Technicians start to show up at a property without texting the customer that they're on the way. And the standard line continues to drop and drop and drop. Now, if you don't let these low performers last in your company, and you have a culture of, if someone's not performing, we're gonna move on. And what I've found is it's very hard to display that with words. It's very easy to do it with your actions. So if they are seeing, oh, so-and-so that wasn't doing great is no longer here anymore, and we have 2 more people starting this week. I wonder why. And so what happens is that your top performers see that happening, and so the standard line keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And you want your standard line to be as high as you can possibly get it in the business. So one other thing that we do in our business is we have cards. This also came from Brandon Vaughn, but it's little cards. I wish I had one on me, but they say, you are awesome. We'd love to have you at our company. To apply, here's the instructions. And if I'm at a Home Depot or I'm out to dinner somewhere, if I'm having a great experience with an employee of that company, I'm just gonna give them one of those cards and say, hey man, if you're ever looking for a new job, I'd love to chat. Here's all the information right there. That's one of the best things that we've seen, because you're actually seeing these people kind of in like the wild, and you are seeing how they act. When they are under a stressful situation, maybe they're serving tables and it's a busy night. Are they keeping their personal standards held high? And so that's been another good way for us to get employees. So that's where we're at right now. We've churned a couple technicians in the past couple weeks, and because I took my foot off the gas on some of these systems, the size of our wait list has shrinked a little bit. But I know the exact roadmap on how to get us back there, and I hope that I explained how to do that for others watching this video. So thank you for watching. 98% of people watching these videos right now aren't subscribed. So if you would take 2 seconds and hit that subscribe button, that would really help this channel grow a lot. We're trying to reach as many exterior cleaning business owners as we can. And if y'all would comment any videos or any video styles that you want us to try, or anything that you want us to talk about, we will make sure to do that.